So we all have negative experiences. The difference is how you choose to think about those negative experiences and whether or not it's something that you feel like you can impact or have control over versus, being out of control and having no impact. That makes all the difference. Welcome to Momentum Live. I'm Brooke Scutt. So let's talk a little bit about those experiences. When you have a negative experience, no matter what, your mind begins trying to explain what has happened. And the questions that you can ask yourself about explaining your explanatory style towards situations are pretty simple. Because it's those people who view negative situations or negative experiences as temporary, specific to that occurrence, and then that they are externally forced, tend to move through and are likely to persist in the face of adversity. So the three questions you can ask yourself is, number one, is this permanent? So is this experience that you've had, is this a permanent situation or is it temporary? The second question is it pervasive? Does this particular event span to a greater group of individuals or persons or locations or businesses, whatever it is? Or is it specific to an individual or a specific business or, that specific organization, not even organizations, generally speaking? And then the third question is this personal? So is this something this negative experience, is it something that you created, that you were a part of, or are there external forces that really were at play here? It's those, again, who focus on things being temporary, specific occurrences, and then having external influence are the ones who can move through, again, these negative experiences without having them weigh them down. And if you think about that, when you ask yourself those questions, is this permanent? Is it pervasive? Is it personal? What you want to do is come up with intelligent answers that are a no, that it's not permanent, that it's not pervasive, and that it's not personal. Again, getting to the other side of that, temporary, specific, and external. So again, our explanatory style, it's going to happen no matter what. Your mind, as a human being, you are going to try to explain a negative event. The point is, do you explain it one way that's positive, that you can move forward and realize that it's not your entire life? Or two, do you explain it in a negative way where it is permanent, it extends to all people, and it is personal? So think about that. I have a little story for you. A couple years ago, I bought a car from a dealership, and it was a brand new car. First time I had ever done that. It was actually like the late model of the year before. So technically it wasn't brand new. Don't yell at me. But I had such a dreadful experience there that I will not buy and will not recommend buying that type of car again. I mean, it was such a negative experience. It was your quintessential car buying experience. I got put in the room and I was starving, and then they had to go talk to the manager, and then he came back, and then he had to talk to the manager, and he came back, and it was just this awful, awful negotiation. And what was interesting is, as I was thinking about this, I realized that I have made this a pervasive experience. I have said that I will never buy a car or never recommend a car from that particular brand or dealership simply because of this negative experience. And that I made it deeply personal, that, for various reasons, that it was a negative experience to me, maybe because I was young, maybe because I was naive, I seemed like a target. But the truth was that I wasn't well prepared, I was hungry, lots of different things that made it, a bad experience. So I thought about this stuff. Obviously it wasn't permanent because I wasn't living at a car dealership, but that whole experience, the ownership of the car was temporary. It was very specific to that occurrence and that salesperson and their technique, and then there were a lot of external factors that went into it. So again, moving through that, I feel a little bad that I've spent so many years unhappy with this particular brand, so maybe I'll reframe my mind and think a little bit different about that. So again, remember, ask yourself, is this permanent? Is this pervasive? Is it personal? Try to get to it being temporary, it being a specific occurrence, and it having impacted by external factors. Hope you guys have a great Monday and a great week, and I'll see you guys next week.